Welcome to Oh My God, My Hitbox is a Lot Larger Than I Thought, the video game. Darius Gaiden helped get me back into shmups. It was one of the first ones I picked up, along with a couple other M2 things, before I even realized that it was, kind of like a hidden shot trigger. Back when I just remember playing this on my PlayStation 1 back in the day, and it's still kind of special to me. It's so weird and dreamlike and just really a lot deeper than people really give it credit for. So I originally went into this game as like a palate cleanser from playing Tsukio Garentai because I was having a really hard time with the last couple of sections in Tsukio Garentai. It's quite insane, some of the stuff that they expect you to do. At least at my skill level, and I wanted something that I knew that was kind of easier, but at the same time had depth if you really put the time and the work in. That didn't take an enormous amount of time, and I've been playing Darius off and on over the past week or so, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do Darius. Which I know I'm saying it wrong. The actual pronunciation, the actual Japanese pronunciation is Darius. But that is really hard for me to say after saying it Darius my whole life. Darius sounds like a reality TV person. Like, hey guys, it's Darius. Some things that I did here. So I'll tell you my setup. It is pretty much the same as it was for Battle Garega, in which I have one button that is a 15 hertz, like normal auto fire. It's what the game sets you up with. And then I have another shot button that is like my 30 hertz shot. That is my crazy, powerful, close range shot. So I'm gonna scoot over to the next line here in a second and go route V. That's kind of my destination here. Also trying to capture as many early bosses as possible, because I didn't realize that was also part of the scoring. So I came in thinking that most of this game was just defeating enemy waves and bosses, but it's actually not. I know that I knew that there was a cash out at the end, but it takes a lot of stuff into consideration for that cash out, including enemy captures, leftover bombs, stuff like that. So, I'm trying to, especially for these early levels, I really want to get in as many specials as possible when it comes to enemy captures and destroying like fleets, like groups of enemies. So the gadgets on this make this really cool, because it's shockingly deep for kind of as easy as a lot of people see it. Man, every time I think of this game, I think of it as like a great beginner piece. This game is great for beginners because it offers that, the way that the roots work in this, it offers a kind of modularity that you don't get with a lot of games, period, and especially a lot of shmups where a person that's brand new can come into this and feel really good about themselves, and a person that is super veteran can go in and do route Z or whatever, like the hardest route. And I think that's really cool, and Taito deserves a lot of applause for that. One thing that is my wife's favorite part of this game is the music by Zuntata, but you could say that about any Taito game. I think this is where I stopped trying to capture enemies or captains, because they get pretty hardcore after this. I know that the way that your weapons level up, usually the first weapon has the most DPS in terms of like how much shot it can put downstream. But I'm going for getting it leveled up as quickly as possible because I want the duplicates that I can collect for points. And same way about the shields. I know that like if you have 0 shield, you get a lot more shield than if you just picked it up, with shield already. It would give you, I think, like 2 or 3 depending on your shield level. So. Also, there's little things like little emblems, like hidden emblems that you can uncover, and they will give you a random amount of points. At first I thought, and I've heard a lot of talk online about, oh, well, it depends on where you pick it up during the Apex. But from what I've seen and from what a lot of other people, like the digging that a lot of other people have done, is that it's completely random, which really sucks in like scoring consistently in this game because you can't really rely on those like bonus emblems at all for carrying your score above anything. It's really just about, like what I said, like bombs, lives, collecting extra emblems, and captures. I'm just gonna bully the fuck out of this guy. When I figured out you could stagger this dude, that's when I was like, I'm just gonna fucking get in this guy's face. I'm gonna make him respect me, and that's exactly what I did. Because this dude, when I picked this game up about a year ago, this guy was like, I was so green when it came down to it that this guy was kind of like my wall because of his like shitty fucking laser bullshit that he launches at you. It also is hard because you can take like chain hits on your shield with like no recovery. So there's a captain that I run into later that in like going through this like I did a year ago. He has like a Gatling gun, and he'll just take all of your shield and kill you within like a second because he'll just like straight on you. There's a couple things I would like to say about some stuff that has been on my mind lately, and especially when it comes to like kind of like telling other people or like other people listening to others, right? I love that we have a lot of people that are willing to learn in the community and other people that are willing to open their minds. I just don't want people to take what I say or what anyone else says as gospel. This is all my opinion. This is all, when I'm talking about stuff like this is all, just what I think about how I feel about games. These games, for me, can be a little bit competitive, and I know some people hate that idea. I like it. I enjoy the fact that these games can be competitive. And if you don't see it that way, that's fine. It doesn't change how I see it. And, like, that's cool. Like, one of the greatest things about this community is that we might disagree on everything, me and you, but we can still be friends. And actually, it's kind of better that way, because I wouldn't want someone to just agree with everything I say. That would be kind of like having a girlfriend that, just kind of lets you do whatever because, they just don't want to cause trouble. And really, trouble should never be started just because you have a differing opinion than somebody. I think that what everyone makes is worthwhile, even if I don't enjoy what everyone makes. I mean, have I ever really liked top 10 lists or tier lists or anything like that? No, I haven't. Does that make that stuff worthless, though? Not at all. And I think, sometimes we can, and I'm guilty of this myself, can get into our own heads about, everything. I mean, it's one of the things that happens in games like this, that you can get into your own head about how much you suck. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're playing the wrong game. But you do have to remember to be kind of easy on yourself. At the end of the day, these games are hard. These games are difficult. I know me and Chris were talking about this, and he was telling me this. He was like, these games are meant to be brutal and brutalize you. And, I would never do anything of like tell somebody that this is the wrong game for them. I might be like, hey, because at the end of the day, who am I to be the end-all be-all, like, god of shmups, Like, I can't even clear Tsukioka Rentai, which a lot of people say is the easiest, is easy or whatever. I got into an argument with some dude on Reddit that it was so funny because there was a forum post over there that was a dude asking for help, right? And so I posted a big long thing of everything I knew, and then he posted it up and he was like, bro, this game's easy. And I was like, so here's what we're doing, right? We're going to go on a post where someone's asking for help and then gloat over them about how easy a game is. Like, dude, in real life, shit like that would get your ass kicked. You know? Like, people need to remember, I think, the fact that, like, the internet is good and bad because of anonymity, right? It can be positive and negative in the same sentence because it offers that kind of protection. But I think we all need to remember that if we, and this should go without saying, but I know some people need to hear it. If you wouldn't say it to someone's face, then you shouldn't say it at all. And, communication. I know I go over this all the time, but I think a lot of people in this would be a lot better when it comes to, like, the community's islands, I guess, in a better way, thinking of like the best way I can think of it right now with this amazing music in my ear. I don't think there would be so many if people just communicated better. This dude, I just walk all over this fucking guy because there's a couple of like tips that you can take in that make him just absolutely a breeze. That is his most dangerous attack. He's got a couple more that are dangerous if you let them be. So he's got his fins at the top and his fin at the back. Only really worry about that if you're worried about, like, maximizing your points. So right below his mouth, he spits out these dudes that will just rain like green balls everywhere. So what you want to do is you want to post up, like, right there and get them as they come out. And see, I kind of messed up and missed a couple. But, like, your rank, because this game does have rank, will increase pretty much no matter what you do. So killing stuff as quickly as possible, if you want it to be as easy as possible, is, because I don't believe that deaths affect rank at all. Now, one thing that does affect rank is your auto fire, which is another reason why I don't use the 30 hertz auto fire all the time, because you can see it climbing quite a bit when I use it. And here's the Gatling gun guy. So I really wanted to capture him, but he doesn't help out much in, like, the really super tight cave that's up ahead. So, if I had really practiced him a little bit more, I would have been able to do it. Also, one thing that I didn't know until I was watching a replay of this is you can go through those blue things. I thought that those blue things would kill you if you tried to, go through them, because terrain is one of the most dangerous things in this fucking game for some reason. Like, terrain will just drain you dry. But yeah, you can go straight through those blue things, and I wish I had known that a lot sooner, because it would have made this game a lot easier. Because usually I would bomb right there because of, the blue terrain. Kind of scared me a little bit. I got a battle traverse clear I'm going to do a commentary for here in a couple days. And that's another extremely cool game. And I would like to get into playing more dojins. I do play a lot of dojins, but I would really like to, like, dive into one. And I guess Battle Traverse was really the first one, excuse me, other than Altanex Second, that I really dived in serious with. Right now, I'm playing 3 dojins: Battle Traverse, Altanex Second, and Stella Vanity. And I'm thinking about re-picking back up Grand Cross Renovation for Shmup Slam. But here's the thing, is, like, the max, one of the reasons why I don't have a video for it, for the exactly what I want to do yet, is because the max risk route is brutal. It's no mistakes, one hit deaths, no lives. So doing that live, the thought of doing that live at my current level with it right now is absolutely terrifying to me. I take so many shield hits right here. It is so annoying. Because I feel like your shield makes your hitbox a little larger. I could be wrong. Your hitbox is already fairly large in this. But yeah. So at this point, I was like, I might be able to do a no miss here. However, there's like one spot where I need a bomb, and I have none. And I'm pretty sure you only get one bomb from this level. These guys suck so bad. They will follow you around and just drain your, they'll like just like white on rice you, like straight up. Sorry, I'm drinking my evening coffee. So originally I was making this video and I had a run, like ready to go. I was about to do commentary for it. And I looked at the score, and the score was about 5 million. And, I looked at it and I was like, that's a good run, but I feel like, yep, that's my first and only death. I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I can do better. And within, you know, and this is with working with kids, with everything else, within about a little bit over 24 hours I did. I didn't necessarily double my score, but I went from 5 million to 7.5. You know, if I hadn't taken that death, it would have been over 8. But you know, this can get a little tricky here. I wouldn't necessarily say this is hard. There's just a couple dudes that will come from behind you and just spit bullets. See, they're coming up to the upper left right now. Those guys should be dealt with immediately. They turn this game into a bullet hell pretty much. Yeah, that's right. That was a bomb right there. So this is technically the bad ending of the game. I'll show you in a second. So you're fighting Risk Storage. He's just got just a ton of health, and it's just overall can be. He's either super dangerous or a pushover, depending on like the phase he's at. So like right here, his tail is what you need to be worried about. Like you can kind of push it back with your shot. And so, you know, as long as you're minding that tail, he's good. And those green balls. And then during the second phase, he like shoots out like these giant pillars, which are just really suck, really bad. Wow, that's my command of the English language right there. They really are suck. Wow. Good job, Sam. Can you tell how tired I am right now? Third shift sucks. Well, at least it's my Friday, so, you know, after this, I'm off for 2 days, so I'm really happy about that. It's been pretty busy at my house lately. I've been quite busy because my wife just started a new job, and so I've had to do a lot more around the house, which, you know, I'm not upset with. Actually, I'm really happy that, you know, we're getting back to normality. I, for some reason, thought those guys would stop chasing you after a second, so I decided to bomb there. You know, so if anybody texts me or anything like that and I don't respond, just, you know, I will get back to you. It's just been pretty crazy here. And also, you know, just keeping up with everything I want to do. I'm nowhere near burnt out, though, and that's one of the reasons why I've kind of scheduled this break for myself, is so that doesn't happen. So, yeah, so pretty much you destroy risk storage, and then the pressure of being underwater blows you up. Yeah, you could go through space and do all this other shit, and, you know, go light speed and all this other stuff, but the high pressure of the ocean on Darius kills you. So it's some Deus Ex Machina shit. I should have let the credits play because it's really cool seeing Golden Ogre just kind of like chill out. All right, guys, I'll see you later.